Welcome to Toffee TV. Well, last month, August, Everton signed a very unique deal with Fancurve, which led a lot of Everton fans to want to know what it's all about. What is digital wearable shirts in the metaverse? This is a question that a lot of Evertonians are scratching their head about. Well, we've got Jonathan Goodwin from Fancurve to tell us all about it. Jonathan, how are you?
Doing great. Doing great. Thanks for having me, Toffee TV, and hello, Evertonians.
So, what is a digital wearable shirt in the metaverse?
That's a great question. And it's still not perfectly defined, but our vision of it at Fancurve kind of just stems back to the increasing role the internet has in our lives. And the more time we spend online, the more our digital identity matters. Your Snapchat handle, your Twitter handle, your Instagram stories, your TikToks, that's where it all starts. But then it gets even deeper. You look at the rise of gaming, game platforms like Fortnite, Roblox, Apex Legends. And I say platforms because, yes, they're obviously games, but there's a robust economy of buying and selling digital wearables inside of these games. In Fortnite, you can dress like a banana if you want to and go assassinate your friends from atop a 10-story tower. That matters to people. So our thought is at Fancurve, digital Everton shirt. Everton matters. You were telling me earlier you're sweating about tonight's match, as are, I'm sure, all Evertonians sweating about tonight's match. That matters. So when you engage in the digital world, aka the metaverse, why would you not want to represent your Everton fandom in the best way possible?
Yeah, I get that because obviously with things like Fortnite, obviously we've seen it's not just a game, but as you said there, you see a lot of the big companies, movie houses, these kind of people putting their characters into these games, or the latest superhero costumes into these games because people want to put out there, just like wearing a t-shirt, what matters to them, and obviously. This is something Everton are doing, and it's obviously one of the newest things I think out there, and certainly Everton are one of the first clubs to do this. Are they the first club, or have you seen other clubs do this?
There are some other clubs that are experimenting in the space. We had a partnership with Real Betis Balompié out of Sevilla, their La Liga team, that we launched early in the summer. Southampton, I believe they're Premier League.
Yeah.
They created, I don't know that they're wearable, but they created two NFTs, one of their away kit and one of their home kit, and they auctioned them off to fans. And they're unique, one of one for both of those. And they're auctioning those off. I don't know if they've wrapped the auction, but there are clubs that are dabbling in this space, whether that's like Web3 and crypto, or that's metaverse and virtual worlds, or even gaming. And even further than just playing games, Fortnite also, as I'm sure everyone knows, so the pandemic started, the deep days of the pandemic started hosting virtual concerts.
Yeah.
So when I go to a concert, it matters to me what I wear because I want to represent my fandom of the band or look good or signal that, hey, I like this band and I like this other band. So talk to me about both bands. And if I'm attending a virtual a virtual football match, in Fortnite, if that ever happens, I surely want people to be talking to me about Everton.
Yeah, it's obviously a very very brand new space, isn't it? And a lot of people, as we've already mentioned, they're not fully aware of this. But this is the future, isn't it? As you've just mentioned there, I remember those the movie nights on Fortnite and things like that. It is becoming it is a new space, and it is good to see Everton getting on board really early. What can Everton fans expect to see them when they go and try to buy these shirts? What kind of different shirts will they be looking at, and how will they be packaged together?
So it's a good question because we're not doing this in a conventional way where we're like with the physical shirts. You get handed your kit at the top of every season and say, deal with it. This is the design. Everton is the people's team, from what I'm told. We're doing this a little differently. We're doing a design contest. So Evertonians around the world are invited to create a design and submit it on the Fancurve site. They can easily print out our template and color it in. We've had some kids colored in with crayons and submit their beautiful designs. And we've had some very talented 3D designers create entire models and submit that as well. As long as it's a JPEG, PNG, or PDF, we'll take it. And from there, we'll narrow it down to a field of 5, and we'll open it up for the public to vote. So Evertonians, you get to decide what your first digital kit is for Everton. And from there, we'll have the drop later this fall. And yeah, so it is one design, but it'll be one that'll be chosen by the fans.
And where can fans do that? Where can they get the necessary things to take part in the competition?
Yeah, just jump over to the Fancurve site. It's fancurve.com. And yeah, and just sign up, create an account, and follow the prompts, and you'll be directed to the right place. And you get the instructions. Very easy. Just you can use the Everton logo, you can use the Fancurve logo, just don't use anybody else's. You don't have to put the sponsor on the shirt. And Bob's your uncle, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. And obviously this is the start. What do you see going forward? Because obviously you've just mentioned their football shirts do change year by year, and for some people like myself, as you get older, you're obviously very fond of retro shirts that mean something to you because of where you were in your life, or Everton will have won a trophy in that shirt. Is that something that will grow as well, seeing old retro shirts and shirts from the past come into the collection?
We certainly hope so. I mean, if this all goes well with Everton, it's a big Everton blue sky out there, full of opportunities. So, I mean, whether that means we could do a whole number of things, but I think retro, vintage, classics, like that's definitely something that we're interested in exploring, whether that's through a club or through some of these native communities of shirt collectors out there that do buy, sell, trade, collect vintage shirts across clubs, across leagues, across decades.
Yeah, it's certainly in the physical market. It is a huge thing. So obviously, if this thing takes off and people want to wear their shirts, I'm sure the retro market will become a huge space because, as I said, the physical market is huge. So it's really, really interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see it grow. And I've actually just thinking then, I know exactly what will happen. Once your competition goes out and this shirt gets launched, people will want a physical version of that shirt as well, because that's just the very nature of us as humans. We want to get our hands on things. So everyone just head over to Fancurve's website if you want to take part in this competition to design Everton's first digital wearable shirt. And it was great to speak to you, Jonathan, about the whole thing, and it's going to be really interesting to see the development between Everton and Fancurve.
Excellent. Thank you for having me, Toffee TV, and thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity.
There you go. Head over to Fancurve's site to take part, and thank you to Jonathan for being on Toffee TV. We'll see you later.